Here are 6 things to inspect when buying a house that home inspectors and appraisers typically won't. When buying a house, you're likely going to get a home inspection done, as well as an appraisal, and I strongly encourage you to do so. But there are a few things that neither will tell you about the home that you're buying, and you don't want to find out about any of these gotchas after you've closed on the home and it's too late. So here are a few things to inspect yourself when going through the home. Number 1, HVAC ducts. You want to look for mold in the ducts and inside the air handling system. The number 1 cause of mold is sizing. You don't want a system that's too big or too small, just like Goldilocks. But you can't fix this problem. It's very easy. You can clean the ductwork, you can get a UV light, and you can solve the problem very easily, of course, assuming that the unit is sized appropriately. And that's something you could change too. Number 2, you want to inspect the house on a rainy day. God, it's your lucky day if you show up to go do a home tour or a home inspection and it happens to be raining that day. You're going to get to see lots of good stuff that you wouldn't on a sunny day. Roof leaks, gutter leaks, pooling of water where it goes once it hits the ground. It's going to tell you a lot about the house and any potential problems. So if you happen to just know it's going to be raining one day, drive by the house too and take a look if you weren't able to do it while you were there in person. Number 3, sinkholes and flood zones. You'll want to check into the maps that show this info. Even if your lender doesn't require flood insurance, you just want to know what's around the area to make sure that you don't have any potential issues. Not a huge deal in most cases, but something to look into. Number 4, the sales history. This is where you really want to go deep. It's not just about the last transaction. There was a house that a client was looking at that has sold, I think it was like 4 times in the last few years, and it never sold for the list price. It was always selling below. Why? Well, it turns out there was a train track right near the property behind it that was hidden. You couldn't see it when you were there on the property. And if the train didn't go by at that time, you would never know because the foliage covered everything. But once people moved in and lived there, in the middle of the night, the trains were running by, waking them up all the time, and they just didn't want to live there after they moved in. So that was one of those things that, you kind of dig into the research on why were these homes selling so many times, why were the prices not holding up, that type of thing. That can give you a lot of information. Now, if there was only one sale in the past 10 years, then obviously that's not an issue to worry about. Number 5, vary your visits. You're going to pick up things from the property, from differences in lighting, differences in weather, different times of the day when kids are in the neighborhood or neighbors are doing things in the area. You might see that one particular neighbor always has parties every single night. You might see that when the wind blows one direction, there's an awful bad smell that comes from a nearby factory when the winds blow east to west, and you don't smell it when they blow the other way. So you want to come at different times of the day just to really see the property and what's around it. And then finally, the biggest tip that I can give you is you want to talk to the neighbors. This is really the most important step to learning about the house and the neighborhood. And you can simply just walk down the street and maybe see some people outside or even knock on their door and ask them, is there anything you wish you knew about before buying a house in this neighborhood? Are there any secrets that I should know moving in? And guess what? They're going to love to share that information with you, and they're going to want you to be their neighbor too. So those are all things that you can do that won't show up on any home inspections or appraisals, but they're going to give you a lot of good information before you buy that house. If you want any other information or any mortgage tips, reach out. I'm here to help. Have a great day. Thanks.